everyone, it's Melissa, and today I wanted to share with you my reading goals for 2021. First of all, happy belated Hanukkah, merry belated Christmas, happy belated solstice, or just happy belated December. I've been MIA for a little bit. I've been really feeling run down the last part of the year, so haven't really been posting anything, but had a little bit of a jolt of energy to film my reading goals for next year, and also if I have time tonight I might also film my top books of 2020, so look up for those coming soon. First of all, this isn't going to really be a hard and fast goal, but it's kind of the groundwork for my goals. I think next year is to be like more intentional with my reading, and that includes like potentially reading fewer books, which is not a normal goal for a booktuber or just like a reader in general. Not a normal goal for us to set for ourselves. But I read so much this year, and while it was wonderful, I feel like it wasn't purely for the joy of reading. My increase of reading this year was, I think, partly to do with starting a booktube channel and wanting things to talk about. Partly to do with the fact that I spent a good many years not reading much or anything. And so I was just really enthusiastic to get back into reading. But a big thing that I think contributed to my reading like over 100 books this year was COVID-19 and using reading as a distraction. And we all cope in our own ways, and that's fine. But at the same time, my reading, I feel, pushed out time for other hobbies that I also enjoy. So next year, I want to really think more intentionally about how I'm spending my time and potentially read fewer books. So for 2021, I think I'm going to set my Goodreads goal for maybe 70 or so books, which I think is around 6 books a month, 5 or 6 books a month, something like that. And I think that's just more doable, more realistic. So if I am having only 5 or 6 books in a month to work with on average, I kind of have an idea of what I would like those 5 to 6 books to be. I would like to do one reread every single month. I think I only reread 2 or 3 books this year, and it was really nice to visit old favorites. So I would like to do a lot more rereading next year. So out of those 5 or 6 books, I would like one of them to be a reread. I would like one of them to be a nonfiction. I do read a fair amount of nonfiction. I would like to continue to do so. Something I haven't been reading as much as I would like to is poetry, so I would like to make one book per month be poetry. And what else? Graphic novels. I read graphic novels for the first time this year, and it was wonderful. I really like it as a format. It was so great to discover this like new medium. And I would like to read at least one graphic novel per month. I'm counting this in like the 5 or 6 per month, but realistically, graphic novels are so quick to read that just might be a bonus thing. But yeah, so a reread, a poetry collection, a nonfiction, a graphic novel, and that leaves 1 to 2 books kind of up in the air just for me to participate in readathons or to do a buddy read or do a mood read or whatever. So that's kind of my goal on how I want my monthly reading to go and how I want to be more intentional and streamlined, I guess, with my reading. In addition to that, I want to continue keeping track of stats. I only started doing that halfway through the year last year, and I just really liked doing that, where I was really tracking like different countries I was reading from, like the author's race, any books that I was reading by queer authors, and those types of things. I think tracking it this year really helped me to read more diversely and just be more intentional with who I'm reading and why. And I really think that's important, and I enjoyed that aspect of my reading this year, so I'd like to continue that next year. Next year I would also like to continue to strive to read from authors who are Black, Indigenous, or people of color. And my kind of like rough goal is to read at least one book by an author who's BIPOC for every one white author. So I'm trying to keep it roughly 50-50. I didn't quite get there this year. I think it was like 40-something% or something. And I'd like for that to be closer to 50, but I am very pleased with that, and I'd like to continue that. One thing I would really like to do next year is to increase authors that I'm reading from Canada, and because I'm Canadian, and also other countries that are not the US or the UK. I have nothing against American authors or British authors, but my reading skewed heavily to American and British writing this year, and so I'd like to try to read other countries, and I think what I might do is set it up so that I try to read one kind of like Canadian or international book to every one American book or something like that. So again, shooting for like 50% of my reading outside of the US, I think, is what I'm going to go for there. Another thing I would like to do is to prioritize books that I own either physically on my shelves or as audiobooks or ebooks. And when I'm not reading a book that I own either physically or digitally, if I'm borrowing something from the library for like a readathon or something, I really want to try my hardest to make it something that's already on my Goodreads TBR, because I just found myself so much last year finding books to fit prompts for readathons, which, don't get me wrong, was fun to do, but then my Goodreads TBR is just getting longer and longer, which is a little overwhelming for me. So I would like to really focus on the things that are already on my radar that I want to read. So another thing that I want to kind of streamline, and this might sound really odd for a booktuber to say this, but I would like to cut back on the number of readathons I do or participate to a lesser extent. Now, I loved participating in readathons. It was so much fun. Got to like meet people through readathons, and it was just so much fun to like get bingo or do all the challenges or like whatever it was. And it's something I really, really enjoyed. However, there are a lot of readathons in the year, and I participated in a lot, and filling up my TBR to fill out all these prompts made it so I couldn't get to things that were already on my existing TBR, or I wasn't reading things that were already on my shelf because the books on my shelf couldn't help me like fulfill the challenge or whatever. So this year I would like to either participate in fewer readathons, so I'm thinking probably between 4 and 6, so one every 2 to 3 months ish. And there are probably already 5 readathons that I definitely want to participate in, so this is probably going to be my hardest goal. But if I find that too difficult, what I might do instead of reducing the number of readathons, I might just participate at the minimal level. So rather than getting bingo or doing all the prompts or yada yada yada, I might just read like one book in order to participate or that kind of thing. So I want to slow down on readathons in some way, shape, or form. So those are my reading goals for 2021. I hope we all have a better year next year. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope everyone's doing really well, and we'll chat soon.